It's time to find out who's been the most ridiculous person of the week. In at number 3 this week, it's the Transport Secretary and ignorant woman's crumpet, Chris Grayling. With reports suggesting that food prices might skyrocket if there's no deal on Brexit, Grayling has simply suggested that we'll grow more food, which is fine, other than the fact that farmers say that if we were going to do that in time for 2019, then we really should have started preparing at the end of the last century. So basically it's time to get a cabbage patch in your garden, which is adding to the whole blitz spirit of the times. I mean, there's talk of digging for Britain, the Chancellor is saying that Europe is the enemy, and despite the fact that we're not being bombed by anyone, we still don't have enough houses. In at number 2 this week, it is the greatest train that Britain has ever had. That's according to the British government, who were delighted to take part in its maiden voyage on Great Western Railways. So, how did the trip go? Well, it left 25 minutes late, with some people only able to stand, and then a faulty air conditioning unit led to a massive leak, so there was water everywhere. Fortunately though, Chris Grayling was on board, so he was able to put it in a watering can and take it back to his vegetable patch. In the end, it arrived at Paddington 40 minutes late, but one journalist was able to report that punters were impressed overall. Yeah, come on, look on the bright side. I mean, after all, with this new train, you don't even have to shower before you leave home. And in at number 1 this week, it's Boris Johnson, who, well, let me just explain in detail exactly what he did. He had a bunch of Eastern European foreign ministers come round to his official residence this week, and he insisted that somebody come and row with him in the lake. And he was very keen on doing this until a woman who might be confused for his chaperone but is in fact his wife, namely the distinguished barrister Marina Wheeler, stepped in saying, "No, Boris, we're not drowning the foreign ministers." She then tried to coerce the foreign secretary away from the lake by asking their guests whether they'd like to just go back to the house, and they said they would, and then the Czech deputy foreign minister lost his mind, caved in, and it was off to the boat. Anyway, they're getting into the vessel, and then Boris buggers off, leaving the Czech minister adrift, and he then promptly rows out, so they have to beckon him back. Finally, Boris tries to get into the boat. All of this with the cameras rolling, which is strangely comforting because I didn't realise people still try to make clips for You've Been Framed anymore. And they're off, leaving 7 other ministers on the bank, really impressed and happy. Or in the case of this guy, just simply ecstatic with glee. And this is Britain's top diplomat, but don't worry, it's not as if there's anything important going on in foreign policy at the moment.